Good morning. Pleasure to be here to talk to those that know a lot more about natural gas than maybe I do, but I certainly continue to learn every day as I've come here. Last night, coming back from the racetrack, which was, I think, was a great event, I had a chance to look at that the bronze statue, and I thought that was kind of interesting for today, against all odds. If you look at the history of the racetrack, apparently they've gone through lots of challenges, but they've always had the desire, the courage, and the ability to transform adversity into success. Back in 1927 when it was built. So I had to throw that slide in. There you go. So I had to pull this from the history book. Presented this at SAE a couple of years ago when General Motors was counting the number of horses and early automobiles in Chicago from 1910 to 1934. The automotive literature that back then that even talked about natural gas in the context of automobiles and some of the challenges that the early adopters were looking at. Did it have a place in the automotive landscape? So you kind of, about the golden age today, you kind of look at it's been thought about from a technical point of view for quite some time. So I find that kind of interesting from an engineering historical perspective. Going forward, though, when you look at General Motors, we look at this also from a global perspective, like our colleagues. And we certainly see a lot of fuel economy and greenhouse requirements coming at us globally. And we have to look at this globally for it to be sustainable across our business model with the products that we offer in the various regions around the world. Certainly ours is also one of diversity of energy choices, dependent upon where we market the product and where we see the demand. So today, obviously, the focus is on CNG. At a broad perspective, we do have products in the CNG space across several countries. Certainly, we try and understand these business cases to develop the products. And from my perspective, in the powertrain side of the organization, it's looking for reuse across the powertrain sectors in the various regions around the world so that we can bring the economies of scale across the products. Focusing a little bit more on the U.S. perspective, we recognize in the United States perspective that there are various ways of looking at this market. It's very much a state-based approach. If you look at some of the vehicle-based enablers, some of the privileges that come with driving natural gas, such as high occupancy lanes and maybe special passes at our airports and things like that, as well as fuel-based incentives, it creates a very interesting and complex problem to solve in terms of right product, right price, right place at the right time. But certainly the United States offers us some great opportunity. Again, folks here, you read this, we read this, we're trying to understand where it's been in terms of price across the various states across the United States. We also try and figure out what's it going to look like in the future. All right. Population density, where are the pipelines, where are the pickup points, what are the number of stations per state? It's a complex one of understanding the market as well as where our customers are. Certainly when it comes to stations, we're very focused from a technical point of view, understanding composition and quality, understanding what it takes to certify, what it takes to calibrate, what it takes to provide the duty cycle expectations in the marketplace. Right fill, right pressure, right operations at the station level relative to fail-safes, relative to maintenance, relative to impact on cylinders. So we look at it from a station perspective, not just where is it, but what's the interface like. Certainly from a General Motors point of view, we've had an active participation for over 20 years in the development of standards, regulations, and codes. We feel it's a foundational footprint to build and learn, and it's two ways. So I appreciate learning some of the technical challenges the industry faces today because it gives me something to think about, gives Detroit something to think about, and certainly there's lots to learn from that activity. We also learn very much from our history. We've been all in this business long enough to know that we've had few product experiences over the years, and we draw from those experiences as we invest in the future. So a little snapshot of 10 years in the United States from 1997 to 2006 and the opportunities that it presented for us then. We also have a long history in Europe with our Opel brand of technology, and we're bringing both of that learnings together going forward as we bring more product into the market, certainly in the context of the United States. Fuel storage, not a challenge, not a new story here, but here's kind of a slide and looking at it from a mass and volume perspective. What's the challenges in integrating it on the vehicle architecture level? So if you look at an example case of a 500-kilometer vehicle, I think this is based on a mid-sized car, just for the purposes of argument, 4 times the volume, 3.5 times the mass, with some assumptions built into all of this, obviously, to travel the equivalent distance. So storage systems, very much part of the improvement strategy. Integration. Integration at the vehicle level is a function of the architecture and a function of the powertrain. As we all know, some vehicle architectures are more favorable, some are not as favorable. To invest in those major commitments takes some time, effort, and a clear sense of where the market is headed. Certainly from a powertrain point of view, making the engines compatible, focused, dedicated, can be done, has been done. On the right, we show our 2012 Opel Zafira with a dedicated engine, 1.6-liter turbo, increased compression ratio, all composite tanks. So the technology is there. As Mike said, the MPC study was a key point to help make some of that evident, but these are still some of the challenges that keep the engineering community very focused on where does this go in the future. Fuel properties, storage, and storage integration. Now quickly, the fast part of the cell. I have to do that, right? I mean, that's part of this. So yes, I'm not the marketing guy, I'm the engineering guy too. So it is about our 3/4 and 1 ton cargo van that we have in the market obviously today with 2 types of storage systems, 3 and 4 tank. I'm not going to read through this. This is all available. Certainly what I do want to talk about is the engineering that went into it. It's certainly the technology, the integration, the crashworthiness, the durability. That's what we stand behind in bringing this product to market as an OEM. Certainly, we're very excited about launching the pickup truck shortly. We are accepting orders. It is also based on the 6-liter V8 with a hardened engine. We do put premium intake valves, special seats, and exhaust valves and seats. There is a unique RPO, LC8. It is in the VIN of the vehicle, position number 8. So just like in Chicago back in 1910, we're going to be able to count them, and we're going to be able to know where they are. Again, we're very proud of the engineering effort that went into it, the integration of the storage system, and the consideration for customer features in terms of payload and carrying capacity. But as was said earlier, it is about safety. It is our overriding priority in our business. We do that in everything we think and do, not only from occupant protection, the driver, the passenger, the families. It's about the overall vehicle and how it behaves in all operating conditions, more, not planned, at the end of the day. Again, this just provides some evidence of how we approach the integration of the technology. In summary, it goes beyond protecting the occupant. It is about, it doesn't end here, and it certainly doesn't end in this presentation. From an automotive perspective, we view the options from the eye of the consumer. We are very highly and increasingly constrained in a technology-forced regulatory environment, but we are focused on that. We see a need to reduce our dependence on petroleum, imported petroleum. We see alternative fuels as part of the strategy. Diversification is part of our technical strategy, our product marketing, as well as our policy framework. And so we're there to support where this market grows. And as we say in a lot of our product activity, it all begins and ends with great products. Thank you for your time.